Hey everybody, this is John and one of my coaches, Colleen. She's going to help us out demonstrating stuff today. We are going to go over pretty much direct hamstring work or posterior chain work. It is very weird for people to feel the backside of their body, so targeting your hamstring if you don't have a machine is very difficult to kind of feel. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through kind of the easiest or kind of the lowest barrier of entry to direct hamstring work that we would do with clients, and then we're going to kind of increase the difficulty, and I guess once you understand how to target that muscle, where to go into a hip hinge to feel that, we'll add some weight and do some stuff with some free weight. So the first one is a seated hamstring curl. If you don't have a machine where you could do a seated hamstring curl, we like people to sit on the bench. We set up the band pegs so that people can put their heels around. She's going to scoot back just a little bit more. There you go. And then she's going to pull her heels in to try to get it to her butt as much as she can, hold, and then come back out. She's going to go back and forth. This is very easy for people to get into, so no matter if if we have a lot of people that can't get down to the ground, or we don't want them kind of bending over with weights yet, we can have them sit into this, and then we can make it harder by putting another band on and making it more difficult that way. Now we'll have you stand up, you're done with that. We're going to come over to our heel slides. Now the heel sliders is another kind of like basic entry into direct hamstring work. She's going to put her heels right in the middle. She's going to lay back. She's going to bring her heels to her butt. She's going to hip raise up. Now she's trying to hold that hip raise up as high as she can the entire time, and she's going to slowly slide out her legs while keeping hips up, all the way down till her butt touches, and then she's going to scoot back in. Make sure your hips are on the ground when you're trying to come back in, or it's going to feel like you got shot. Now, we can make this harder by doing one leg. By doing single leg, she's going to go one leg up in the air, hip raise up. Then she's going to slide out nice and slow. This is much more difficult, but this would be the next step. We would say, hey, let's do that. You could add weight on top of it. It's just kind of goofy, so we don't really do that. I'd rather just give you a more difficult exercise. This is kind of rare to have, but we have a few of them. This is a GHD. They have ones that are on the ground. They also have ones that are lifted up a little bit higher. This is where people can directly feel that hamstring loading up. So we usually say we want people to, technically you're supposed to push your toe towards the toe plate, but a lot of people, if they're not used to this, will have cramping in the back of their knees or their calves. So we tell people to pull their toes towards their shins. She's going to push her heels up there. Now we have her lean forward just a little bit, and we say, do you feel that? And she'll feel her hamstring. She goes, yes. First step is we're just going to do the negative, so we're going to have her go slow down, okay, and control all the way down. She'll catch with her hands, and then she'll come back up. Now the next one would be we want her to come down and then also kind of pull up like she's doing a curl with her legs. So she'll come down, and then you can kind of push yourself back up, and then push, and then you finish by pulling yourself up. To make it harder, we help a little bit less. We have some athletes that can go down and back up without their hands, which is like insane that they can do that. The next step would be, say, a dumbbell RDL. So an RDL is a Romanian deadlift or a stiff-legged deadlift, and this allows her to sit back into her hips, and you get that hamstring stretch like if you're trying to reach down and touch your toes. We're not going all the way down. She's going to go about right below her shins, or right below her knees, excuse me, and then she's going to go focusing on squeezing her butt and pushing hips forward, and as she's coming down, big hamstring stretch, came back up. Now, we want her sitting into her hips and her heels. If she comes onto the balls of her feet and goes forward, it's going to bother your low back, and that's what people have trouble doing. So we want to teach them to sit back like butt to the wall and then back up, and then your toes almost kind of want to come up a little bit. Good. Perfect. Now, you can do a single leg version of that where we're holding the dumbbells and we go one leg up, but people balance-wise have a lot of difficulty with that. So to make that a little bit harder, a little bit more, feeling it a lot more in your hamstrings, we would come to an RDL with the barbell. So what you're going to do is grab with her right hand. The hardest part of this is one, holding on to the barbell. So we like to put your thumb right in the end of the barbell, but then also making sure you're doing the same arm, same leg when you're coming down. So she's going to say, if she's holding on with her right hand, right leg is going to come back. Okay, single leg, same thing. She's sitting into her hips. Okay, coming up, keeping the bar close to her. Okay, sitting back. Now, again, if you go too much on the ball of your foot, lean forward. That's what a lot of people have trouble with. they're going to feel that more in their low back. They're not really going to feel it directly in their hamstrings. But this is kind of, look, there's way more options that we could do. You could lay on your stomach, you could have a band around your feet and pull it in. They're just kind of weird to get in and out of. But this kind of gives you an idea of like ways that you can directly work on your posterior chain, which everyone has short and weak hamstrings, so it's good to work on that because they'll help protect your back, but also just keep you healthy, and also mobility-wise will keep you well or healthy. And these are kind of a lot of the options that we use to make sure that people can target their hamstrings and do so correctly and not kind of beat up their low back. So thanks for watching Colleen do hamstring stuff.